March 25, 2018. Russia warns world will never be the same after US enacts terrifying new Orwellian law in dead of night. A truly ominous new Foreign Intelligence Service (SVR) report circulating in the Kremlin today says that in the United States, where its citizens have willfully blinded themselves to the distinctly American Internet saying if a product is free, it means that you are the product. Its Orwellian mass surveillance and control system called Facebook has now been joined by an equally Orwellian, and terrifying, new law enacted in the dead of night this past week called the Clarifying Overseas Use of Data Act Cloud, and that is called a major threat to the freedom of the entire world, none of whose people will ever be the same again as they cower in fear of what it is soon to come. According to this report, in the dead of night, on 7 February, deep state-aligned U.S. Republican Party Senators Orrin Hatch and Lindsey Graham, along with U.S. Democratic Party Senators Chris Coons and Sheldon Whitehouse, decided to put forth in the U.S. Congress this Orwellian new law called the Cloud Act, and without even 1 minute devoted to considering any amendments to this new law, they worked behind the scenes to sneak it into the gargantuan omnibus spending bill, and whose success at doing so was evidenced on Friday, 23 March, when President Trump signed it into force. Described by the American Civil Liberties Union (ACLU) as both sinister and dangerous, this report details, this new Orwellian Cloud Act is the greatest assault on global freedom ever witnessed in history, as it now allows the American shadow government deep state to access the contents of a wire or electronic communication and any record or other information about a person regardless of where they live or where that information is located on the globe, and even more insidiously, allows the U.S. to enter into executive agreements with foreign governments that would allow each government to acquire users' data stored in the other country, without following each other's privacy laws. Wedded to this new Orwellian Cloud Act law, SVR analysts in this report reveal, is another Orwellian attack on humanity devised by the long-known deep state operative to the U.S. intelligence community Drive. Gary Margolis, who, while tens of thousands of Obama Brown Shirt Brigade high school students were marching to support communist gun confiscation in America, began the largest mass surveillance of U.S. high school students ever seen in history. Drive. Gary Margolis, this report explains, is the founder and CEO of the Orwellian mass surveillance company Social Sentinel, who stand at the forefront of collecting, storing and using all social media data created in the entire world, whose fearsome artificial intelligence program library has accumulated over 450,000 violent indicators. And while the Orwellian Cloud Act law was being snuck through the U.S. Congress without the American people even knowing about, was suddenly deployed against the high school students attending Shawshene Valley Technical High School in the Boston bedroom city of Billerica, Massachusetts. Though Social Sentinel innocuously claims that its mass surveillance of high school students is only to detect signs of violent behavior, this report warns, its secret high-controlled library of over 450,000 violent indicators shows its true evil purpose, as some of these violent indicators are those who support President Trump, those who support the Second Amendment, those who oppose abortion, those who don't believe in climate change, those opposing homosexuality, those who read alternative media instead of the mainstream news, and thousands more examples like this that liberal communists in America all say point to high school students being at risk of committing violence. To how Social Sentinel was able to acquire its massive database of violent indicators to target for destruction what are, in essence, normal conservative, and mostly Christian, high school students, this report continues, is through the global Orwellian mass surveillance and control system called Facebook, whose over 2.2 billion users worldwide have no idea whatsoever that this vile tech company's privacy policy is a big lie, and who literally knows everything about them. Aided now by the new Orwellian Cloud Act law, this report notes, Social Sentinel is now prepared to unleash its massive database of violent indicators against the entire world, with the first targets being the billions of unsuspecting Facebook users who will be labeled categorized and located as dissidents to state authority and whose warnings are now being voiced by even some of America's top technology experts such as Google's AI mastermind Francois Collett, who has just warned that the problem with Facebook is not just the loss of your privacy and the fact that it can be used as a totalitarian panopticon. Its more worrying issue is its use of digital information consumption as a psychological control vector, and who, also, begs to the entire world, if you work in AI, please don't help them, don't play their game. Don't participate in their research ecosystem. Please show some conscience. To how terrifying these AI psychological control vectors used by Facebook, and feared by Google's Francois Collett, really are, this report grimly explains, was demonstrated by the American Institute for Behavioral Research and Technology (ABRT) in their scientific research paper titled The Search Suggestion Effect SSE: How Autocomplete Can Be Used to Impact Votes and Opinions, and whose shocking findings revealed that the now mandatory since 2008 autocomplete suggestions used by companies such as Facebook and Google can totally control elections without the people voting even knowing that they were manipulated. Standing against the dystopia and tyranny being imposed on the world by the Orwellian mass surveillance and control system called Facebook, and its mass surveillance partners Social Sentinel, both of whom are now aided by the new Orwellian Cloud Act law to spread their evil across the entire globe, this report concludes, is the growing #delete Facebook movement that has now been joined by the American-Canadian billionaire Elon Musk, who just ordered that his Tesla and SpaceX pages on Facebook be immediately deleted, and one whose most stunning unintended consequences has seen thousands of Americans, after they've deleted their Facebook pages, join Russia's most popular online social media and social networking service of contact VK, that aside from being beyond the reach of U.S. intelligence agencies and their proxies, rarely changes its format and never floods its users with advertisements, and is why the Department of Information Science, Heinrich Heine University, in Dusseldorf, Germany, in their case study titled Acceptance and Quality Perceptions of Social Network Services in Cultural Context of Contact as a case study, reported that VK users consider it to be the superior social media platform overall versus Facebook, and was considered to be more fun, easier to use, and more trustworthy overall.